Focus. Focus is one of the premier skills that you can develop, that you can actively cultivate within yourself. What does this mean? What is focus? Well, focus is essentially your ability to orient all of your energy, your physical energy, your emotional energy, your mental energy toward your aim, toward your desire, toward the self that you are trying to bloom into. The ability to focus is critical. Without focus, our attention is constantly being dispersed and taken from us. Our vital energy is constantly being fed into other people's aims, other people's goals, things that erode us and steal our energy. Without focus, without the ability to feel your focus, know your focus, hone your focus, you're going to be at the whim of your environment and your circumstances. And this is the last thing that we want. We do not want to be victims to our circumstances. We do not want to be victims to just whatever's happening around us. We are not here to live reactionary lives. We are here to build and craft and dream and imagine and invent our lives from here and project it outward. Believe it. Perform actions that help you shift into the person who has the things, is the things that you want to be, right? So focus. Focus is a fundamental skill. It is something we're constantly refining and constantly have opportunity to practice. I want to talk about how you can amplify, train your focus through physical training. How your physical routine, whatever it may be, can be an opportunity for you to amplify, for you to train and hone your ability to focus. Focus doesn't have to mean that you're not thinking about anything else, or that you're not, I'm not a very linear thinker. I like to sort of constantly be shifting my attention and being inspired by all sorts of different things around me. But my internal focus is clear alignment, clear knowledge of my desires and what the behavior I am doing has to do with that desire. So focus for me is about knowing why I'm doing the thing that I'm doing and knowing what I'm trying to get out of it. So it doesn't mean that I have to have no thoughts in my head and not think about a single thing, not think about work, not think about relationships or anything while I'm in the gym. Like, our mind is going to filter through so many things while we're moving and while we're engaging in movement. But what we're essentially trying to do with focus is get it clear, right? So one of the things that I think trips people up when they are starting out on fitness, they're starting on their self-improvement journey, you're trying to change some big shit in your life, you're sort of generally dissatisfied, or you are feeling a sense of there's got to be something more, so you're looking to building yourself, to shifting yourself, and you're like, oh, well, successful people tend to be very physically fit and physically disciplined. That's a good place to start. I've never really felt comfortable in my body, and maybe I could be muscly or fast or agile or athletic, or whatever aspirational quality it is that you are curious and intrigued by. And that's great. That's what got me here was just my curiosity and my maybe I could be athletic, maybe. But there is a tendency to get stuck in paralysis, analysis, paralysis. You know the phrase. And that basically just means that when presented with a new activity, a new invitation to doing something, you start to get really attached to the details and feeling like you understand every single thing about this thing, and being worried that you need to have the perfect plan in order to execute your goal. There's this idea that the details are so important that if you pick the wrong details, you will not have a chance at achieving your goal. This is inverted, incorrect thinking. In my experience, it's not that your external actions don't matter, but this matters the most. The most. So when you are getting started, a way to generate a strong foundation for you to build off of is to build a routine that clearly amplifies and clearly helps you focus on the qualities that you are trying to cultivate. And when I say qualities, I mean strength, courage, compassion, wisdom, discernment, big arms. It can be internal, it can be external, it can be both. And getting that very clear and creating a vehicle, a rhythm in your life that makes you feel close to that thing is really helpful. So to dial this sort of back to like an exercise routine, people get bogged down in analysis paralysis, where they're like, I want to start a program, but I don't know what program to start with. It actually doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you just start and you do something that you can confidently relate back to that quality that you are trying to cultivate. So for example, it can be stupidly simple. If you know how to do a one-arm dumbbell row, and that's the only thing you know how to do in the gym, and walk on a treadmill, then what you could do is commit to going to the gym every day and doing those two things, or just one of them, with the most degree of focus and clarity and effort and joy and conviction possible. Totally confident that this activity is for you and it is bringing you closer to your goals. Because what you are doing then is reinforcing the positive momentum of doing something that makes you feel like the person you're trying to be. And this is like an example of if like you are really uncomfortable in the gym, you're trying to like figure out all these new movements and stuff. We can get really bogged down in our initial attempts to do something by coming up constantly against our sort of our insecurity, our fear. We don't want to give those qualities or those things very much room to play, right? We go in with a plan and we execute the plan, and that's it. That's it. You don't want to go into the weight room and then suddenly be overwhelmed with like, oh my God, the movement that I wanted to do, somebody's using those weights, but I'm too shy to ask when they're going to be done. Should I do something else? I could do a machine, but I don't know how to use the machine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can so quickly spiral out of control. Whereas if you go in with literally one task, you'll get it done. And you will feel that sense of accomplishment and confidence. And then that's another drop in your bucket. So when you're starting something, getting this back to focus, when you're starting something, we want to be open to what it's going to bring up in us. If it's a new activity, it's going to reveal us to ourselves in new ways. And we want it to be as simple as possible so that we can create a strong relationship to this activity that reinforces our goal, our desire, the belief in ourselves, the belief that we can cultivate this quality of this type of person that we are trying to be. This goes back to what I was talking about in my last video about who you believe you are or who you believe you are capable of becoming is so fundamentally important to the growth process. I cannot emphasize it enough. And that doesn't mean that you need to know exactly who you're trying to be. There's so much room for exploration to open yourself up in growth. But you have to believe that you can grow. You have to be open to the notion that what you are is inherently capable of adapting and shifting and becoming more, of always changing, because you are always changing. It is unequivocally true that we are always changing. We're always in some kind of flux. And so all we're doing is taking a little bit of awareness of that flux and guiding it in alignment with our hearts, with what we naturally desire. And this is such the cool thing about when you do find that activity that really does it for you, that reinforces that quality of what you're trying to develop. This is what happened for me with strength training, is it becomes a vehicle to, or rather it becomes a process that helps you relieve and shed everything that's not you. That's when it gets really, really cool. And this is what I am all about now, and what I am trying to convey is that when you develop a strong relationship that is clear in its focus, as in it's aligned with what you really want and need, that process, running, training, climbing, dancing, will become a process in which you can shake out all the gunk, all the dust, all the fear that is clogging up what you really are, who you really are, because you already have everything you need. You right now watching this, hi, you already have everything that you need to start on the path of expanding into the most vibrant, joyous, strong, healthy version of yourself right now, today. You do. You really, really do. And it's the process of exploration, of trusting that you do, of taking these little steps and finding ways to amplify that belief. And again, this comes back to focus. If my focus, we can think of also this as my aim. What is my target? That's where I'm focusing my energy. It's where I'm pointing everything. And my focus, my big focus, right? I have a lot of goals and different things I'm doing. But the focus is I want this activity to amplify and grow the person that I'm trying to become. So, keeping it simple, starting in these little bites, right? Sometimes, you want to go all in, like whole hog on a big change, and there's a lot of power in that. Like if you're going from, never going to the gym to a 30-day challenge where you work out every day. I did that. I didn't go to the gym for it. It was an at-home thing. And it was really, really awesome in what it showed me about myself and what it helped to start grow within myself. Like if you were trying to develop yourself into being a very healthy, athletic person, relieve yourself. You drop any stories that you have about, oh, well, I have to be able to do the gym this many times a week, or for this to always go to the gym every week for the rest of my life. Try something now. Just see what happens. You have until you started, you have no idea what you're going to develop into and where it's going to go ultimately. Or sometimes we don't. Sometimes people do. Sometimes people really do know exactly, from the time they're very young, exactly who the fuck they are. But my point is, if a 30-day challenge of a specific thing is enticing to you, do that, right? You don't have to stick with it forever. Just choose something that is going to help you stay connected to your focus. And when you do that thing, as much as you can, consciously choose to remember that this is the thing that I'm doing to reinforce this quality to be, because I am this person. And you're creating a positive feedback loop that you will start to be able to build on and experiment with for the rest of your life. It's pretty awesome. Okay, have an amazing week. I might do another video at the end of the week. I'm still feeling out timing and frequency on this, but I'm so glad that you're here. Shoot me a comment. Let me know if you've experimented, where you are in your journey, if any of this resonates with you, or if you have any questions about this. Again, I used to be a personal trainer full-time. I am a strength athlete, have been for the last 9 years. I've undergone massive physical transformation, life transformation on every level, and I want to know what you are challenged with right now. Let me know. Drop a comment, drop a like. Have an awesome week. Go get 'em.